मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
In the news tonight, Fiji now has 14 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Man breaks confined border regulations. And TC Herald heading our way.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Bulabinaka, Fiji now has 14 confirmed COVID-19 cases, with 2 more people testing positive this morning. Prime Minister Voringam Bainimarama has revealed that patient 13 is the wife of the man from Lambasa and was taken into isolation 2 days before being diagnosed positive this morning. The second new case is the sister of Fiji's first case, the flight attendant from Lautoka. Koroi Tandulala reports this was a case the Health Ministry had long been expecting.
The Prime Minister says both cases are close contacts of previous patients and both were already in isolation when the symptoms developed, lowering the risk of further transmission.
Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, after second round of confirmation testing, Fiji confirmed that our 12th case of COVID-19 was in fact the daughter-in-law of case number 9, the gentleman in Lambasa who returned from India on the 22nd of March.
Relentless measures by the Health Ministry and its frontline workers should assure the public that health personnel are on top of their game in curbing the spread of COVID-19.
The second new case is the sister of Fiji's very first case, the flight attendant from Lautoka. This was a case we have long been expecting. She is the young mother of an existing case, the COVID-positive 1-year-old baby boy, and she chose to stay in isolation with the child to continue to breastfeed and care for him.
The Prime Minister continues to echo the same advice that's been reiterated time and again by other ministers over the past few weeks on personal hygiene.
Stay at home, save lives. I know it's not always easy, but staying at home is the best way we beat this virus. It is also the best way all of us can honor the sacrifices of our officers and our healthcare heroes serving in on the front lines of the war against coronavirus in our hospitals, in our fever clinics, contact training teams, and isolation wards.
Fever testing teams, meanwhile, have screened 10,000 Fijians in the Lautoka confined area. This is in addition to more than 30,000 who were screened up to Saturday afternoon. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the government will be announcing a new confined area within Lautoka tomorrow. Prime Minister Voringam Bainimarama says they plan to lift the lockdown of the broader Lautoka confined area tomorrow at 5 a.m. However, a new confined area will be declared after health officials found a man who was not only displaying other symptoms but also had a recent travel history, which the Prime Minister says the man was hiding from officials.
He arrived in Fiji on the 24th of March from Uruguay, transiting through Singapore. Now you might be wondering how this gentleman arrived in Lautoka when the lockdown came into effect on the 19th of March. After further questioning, we discovered that he had in fact smuggled his way into the confined area. Once inside, it appears he remained within a set area of Lautoka. Now that he's showing symptoms, our contact tracing teams are determining how many Fijians he may have put at risk.
And Koroi Tandulala joins us live. Koroi, what else did the Prime Minister have to say in his press conference?
Yes, Edwin, the Prime Minister this afternoon revealed that they plan to lift the Lautoka lockdown by 5 a.m. tomorrow. This is obviously a good news that will be welcomed by thousands of Fijians in Lautoka who could not travel out of the sugar city for the past 18 days. However, it is worth noting that the Prime Minister says an announcement will be made tomorrow on a new confined area within Lautoka. Edwin, at this point, I also want to highlight a major concern, that is Tropical Cyclone Harold, that has intensified into a Category 5 system, currently affecting Vanuatu and putting parts of Fiji at risk. Fiji can expect heavy rains and flooding tomorrow due to TC Harold, and flood waters and also the road closures will also add a new layer onto the containment efforts that we have in place. The Prime Minister says Fiji is preparing to face 2 crises at once, one being COVID-19 and the other being TC Harold, and the only way we can beat both of them is if Fijians adhere to the advisories issued by the authority. Bainimarama has warned that the discipline forces will soon be issuing orders and not advise, and they will not tolerate disobedience. Fijians are urged to play their part in order to save lives. Edwin.
Over the last 24 hours, the Fiji Center for Disease Control has undertaken 23 COVID-19 tests, of which 2 came back positive. Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Chemesa Tundravu says case 13 is the mother of patient 3, who is a 1-year-old nephew of Fiji's first case. The mother was admitted at the Nandi hospital and has been in isolation ever since the confirmation of case 3. Dr. Tundravu says the 14th case is the wife of patient 9. He says the woman is a direct contact of case 9 and is more than 60 years old. She has chronic diseases and is isolated in Lambasa Hospital.
So at the moment, we remain with 4 clusters of COVID-19 patients, and the 2 newly diagnosed cases constitute members of cluster 1 and cluster 3.
Now, the same 54-year-old man or patient 9 who tested positive for COVID-19 came into close contact with at least 130 people. The man was supposed to be in self-isolation, but was out in public and even took a boat to Vanuatu. Identified as patient 9, he has already infected 5 immediate family members. Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangainabete says contact tracing teams have found most of the 130 passengers.
The patient in the north that began the cluster in the north, he went across on the boat, obviously. Certainly there was more than about 100, there was about 130 something individuals that our people in the north had to find. Majority of them were in the Maduata area, some in the Kundrob and also in Tabiuni.
And we cross live to the north now, where Eleanor Turangaview is standing by. Eleanor, what's the latest from there as we have another confirmed case in Lambasa?
Now, Edwin, the question now being asked by almost everyone here is, why isn't Lambasa on lockdown, given that we now have 3 confirmed COVID-19 cases? Now, I can only answer with what the Commissioner of Police stated or told the nation earlier today. He stated that they can only lock down an area upon the advice of medical authorities. Now, we understand that no directive or advice has been given by medical authorities, and we can only ask why. So the first confirmed case, first confirmed case for the north, the 57-year-old man, he developed symptoms at their home in Sosoa. So they have locked down Sosoa so that they can conduct contact tracing or to trace anyone that may have come into contact with him. Now, the 2 latest cases, the wife of the man and his daughter-in-law, they developed symptoms while in isolation. So, according to the Prime Minister Bainimarama earlier today, the risk of further transmission is low. So, I hope that clears the air up a bit about the concerns raised about Lambasa being on lockdown. And Edwin, earlier today in Lambasa town, we saw large crowds in front of banks, ATMs. These are individuals who have come to collect the social welfare assistance from the banks and the different financial institutions. And the police had to intervene at around 9-10 o'clock and monitor the social distancing. They literally just moved people 2 meters apart, and this was observed throughout the town. And we had police officers even standing by to monitor social distancing between the people. And we also noticed that businesses closed down early today, and we've questioned some of the business owners. They said that it is because of this current situation they're facing. They feel that it is only safe that they let their staff go home early, and also with the curfew in mind. And just with regards to the lockdown in Soso, the contact tracing started today, and the place will be on lockdown for the next 10 days, or 11 days rather. And just lastly, Edwin, there were questions today about Lambasa College being used as an isolation facility. Word has been going around in town about this, and we had the Minister of Health confirm today that they have identified Lambasa College, but what they will use the facilities for has yet to be clarified. Edwin.
Thank you, Eleanor. And on to other news briefly. A heavy rain alert remains in force for the western half of Viti Levu, Yasawa and the Mamanuda group, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands, including the southern Lau group. According to Director Meteorological Services, Misaile Funaki, TC Herald made landfall in Vanuatu at 10 a.m. today and is moving southeastwards. TC Herald is a Category 5 system with sustained winds of about 215 kilometers per hour close to its center. Funaki says on the current track, TC Herald is expected to pass just to the southwest of the Fiji group from Wednesday, but Fijians should start feeling the effects from tomorrow.
We expect the system to pass just to the west of Fiji. And in saying this, we expect this to be occurring Wednesday. So members of the public should expect a gradual change in the weather, starting from later part of Tuesday, Wednesday, and then extending into this day. This is primarily for the Asawa and Mamanuta group, the western half of Viti Levu, Kandavu, and also towards southern Lau.
And with TC Herald heading this way, Felipe Naikaso is live now from Nandi. Felipe, I believe the Nandi Met Office had a briefing with the government officials this afternoon.
Yes, Ed, the Director Met had a brief session with the Minister Chonu Somate earlier today, and it was basically just about TC Herald's tracking towards the country and also their action plan within the next few days. I also have with me here Mr. Funaki. Mr. Funaki, if you could just tell us what can Fijians expect from Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday morning? What category will TC Herald be when it comes into the Fiji waters?
Thank you, Felipe. Right now, as we speak, it is a Category 5 system that is still lying within the vicinity of Vanuatu, and it's gradually moving in a southeastward direction. And in saying so, we expect the system to lie just to the west of Fiji by Wednesday. And even though the center will remain over open waters, the associated weather, the gale force winds, the heavy rain, and also for those who live along the coastal shore areas, they could also be experiencing the storm surge that comes with the system. So this is expected to start from the later part of tomorrow night into Wednesday, and then gradually easing on Thursday as the system moves towards the Lau group before exiting the Fiji group later on Thursday.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Felipe. Up ahead, nursing body concerned with its members' welfare. And the Queen speaks about COVID-19.
Pula nadang go aprosa ng karse, go erkraki, do televizyon na barong na Radio Fiji 1, nandom ibit.
Radio Fiji 1, nandom.
Welcome back. 3 police officers were among the 61 people arrested last night for breaching the curfew and for social gatherings. The 3 officers and a security guard were arrested at the Doloisuva Community Police Post yesterday morning for allegedly having a kava session. 8 people were arrested in Nambua Suva after they were allegedly found drinking yangona in a grog shop. In Lautoka, 4 youths who were found gathering under a mango tree were warned to disperse, but they allegedly refused and were arrested. 40 people in total were arrested for breaching social gathering restrictions. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Ngilio says although the number of people arrested for curfew breaches decreased to 21, the increase in the number of social gathering breaches is worrying. Ngilio says they have a zero-tolerance policy and enough awareness has been conducted on what everyone needs to do. He says police officers will not accept any excuses. Police officers, he adds, police officers flouting these measures will feel the full brunt of the law and will also face internal disciplinary measures. The Fiji Nursing Association believes nurses are at risk of physical and psychological burnout during the COVID-19 pandemic. The global health crisis could become unsettling for these frontline workers with no clear end in sight. Talay Matairakula has more.
The nurses are placing their lives at risk to protect ours.
Nurses, because they are at the front line and then they deliver care in isolation, in fever clinics, in anywhere, it's important that they are safe when they are delivering these services.
Since the first confirmed COVID-19 case in the country, the nurses have worked around the clock at the fever clinics and isolation units to treat patients who present themselves with flu or fever, as they have similar symptoms as the coronavirus.
We know that it's a matter of time before nurses are going to start showing symptoms of burnout or psychological effects of working in this kind of epidemic.
While the Fiji Nursing Association is offering counseling support to the nurses, Empower Pacific has also opened its doors.
If you do require any additional support from our organizations, I would like to encourage the medical staff and their families to actually reach out to us.
The association has joined the global health fraternity in echoing their plea to the public. The message is clear. We stay at work for you. Please stay at home for us. Tali Materkula, FBC News.
Pacific workers in Australia under the Pacific Labour Scheme and Seasonal Workers Program, whose visas are due to expire, will be able to remain in Australia for up to 12 months. This will enable the workers to support themselves and continue to make contributions to Australia's agricultural sector and food security. The Australian government says it's prioritising the welfare of Pacific workers. They are liaising with employers to ensure Pacific workers are supported through the COVID-19 crisis, particularly those who are unable to return home. Current travel restrictions and the cessation of commercial flights have left some workers unable to return home, while also stopping new partners of Pacific workers from travelling to Australia. The Methodist Church of Fiji are live streaming all their church services on Facebook as they observe the Holy Week. In light of the COVID-19 crisis, Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Rubin says this year's Holy Week celebrations will be different given the government's directive to minimize movement in an effort to contain the coronavirus. Reverend Dr. Rubin is urging everyone to follow the orders from relevant authorities in these trying times. During the Holy Week, a week-long celebration is normally observed by Christians, which ends on Easter.
We are putting up on our Facebook Live program on Holy Week, both in Hindi and in English. It is important for our people to prepare for Easter. This Holy Week, starting today, leads right up to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
And in world news, the Queen has made a public address outside her annual Christmas broadcast for only the 5th time in her 68-year reign. In the address, she pays tribute to essential service workers amid the COVID-19 outbreak. And up next, it's business with Whitney.
Thanks, Edwin. In business, vendors told to utilize mini markets. And minister admits drop in retail sector. Stay with us.
My name is Neha and I'm from Kadavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The local government minister is calling on vendors to contact their respective city councils to be able to sell their produce from the new mini markets. Minister Pramila Kumar says they have set up mini markets to give consumers options without the need to travel far from home. Kumar says currently the stalls are empty as the vendors have not contacted the council. She adds the purpose of the UN market is to serve the working public, while the Mysore Park market will cater for the Lozala Bay and Nasese areas.
Now at the moment you may have seen that it's just the tent. You can't see the vendors there. So what we are doing, we are encouraging vendors to contact Suva City Council so that they can start selling from these 2 new mini markets that has been set up.
Trade and Industry Minister Pramila Kumar has acknowledged that the retail sector is suffering due to the COVID-19 lockdowns. Kumar says public health and preventing the spread of COVID-19 is the priority at the moment. She adds while some sectors of the economy are managing, retailers, bars, gyms and the transport sector will have to show some resolve until the lockdowns in Lautoka and Suva are lifted.
I will emphasize the pain must be shared. It cannot be one way, it has to be both way. Right? This is the time that we have to all work together to come out of it.
Time for Gary to join us with the latest from the money markets.
Thank you. Let's review the SPX market statistics for last week. A total of 10 trades were executed with total volume of under 61,000 shares accumulating to close to $88,000 in value traded. Moreover, a total of 5 listed securities recorded trading activities while 3 listed entities recorded share price movements. Vision Investment shares decreased by 21 cents to close the week at $4.29, while Kontiki Finance shares fell only a cent and concluded the week at $1.23. Meanwhile, the rice company of Fiji noted the only increase, rising by a cent, and ended the week at $8.51. Following the various share price movements, the total market value fell by 0.59% and concluded the week at a value of $3.84 billion. And that's a wrap from our local stock market and HFC Bank. Unaka.
Here, today's exchange rates are set this morning. Mixed day as a new week started. Our dollar gained against the Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, PNG kina, and the Japanese yen. The Fijian dollar fell against the others. Onto the commodities market, gold rose again after Friday to close the week at $1,617 per ounce. Silver dipped to end at $14.38 per ounce, while crude oil prices stood at $26.79 per barrel. That's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest from sports.
Thanks, Whitney, and good evening. In sports tonight, FRU implement cost-cutting measures, and FNRL hopes season will start as scheduled. This and more coming up.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lautoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Fiji Rugby Union has endorsed cost-cutting measures to ensure the financial integrity and sustainability of the union. FRU Chief Executive John O'Connor says after discussions with their partners and World Rugby, they've decided to take this step in view of the limited activities and financial challenges faced by the union due to COVID-19. O'Connor says some staff will work 3 days a week, while others will, with leave balances, will continue to take that leave. They may take further cost-cutting measures such as leave without pay should the situation not improve in the near future. In compliance with the super lockdown regulations, Rugby House will also be closed until further notice. During this period, many of its staff have taken leave while a few work from home. The Fiji National Rugby League is hoping they can kickstart their senior competition in July. FNRL Acting Chief Executive Don Natambe says with the current restrictions in place, they hope their Vodafone Cup can start in 3 months' time. Natambe is also urging the Fiji Rugby League family to adhere to the advisories from relevant authorities during these challenging times.
We look forward to returning on July the 18th for our FNRL Vodafone Cup competitions. I think all of our, as a community, we have to take a step forward in making sure that we can contain and keep everyone safe.
Fiji Volleyball plans to focus on grassroots development for the rest of the year. With the new board in 2020, President Linganguki Suba says the federation aims to recruit a vast number of volleyball players.
We need to set a platform where we, in 2-3 years from now, we have a large pool of players that we can choose from, and the perfect place was to study from the school program.
Fiji football may be looking at pay cuts and layoffs in the coming months. This was confirmed by Fiji FA Chief Executive Mohammed Yusuf, who made these comments in light of the global pandemic affecting the nation. Yusuf says the national football body is heavily reliant on FIFA and OFC for funding.
It's a very hard time. There's likelihood of some workers will have to be laid off. The others who will be employed will have a drastic pay reduction, so that we sustain and be within our means.
Former Wallabies fullback Israel Folau's multi-million-dollar payout from Rugby Australia could reportedly take a major hit if the sport's governing body is forced into insolvency. In our play of the day, we take a look at another of Nick Heath's commentaries on everyday life activities. In the absence of any live sport, all postponed because of coronavirus, Heath, who is a rugby commentator, started commenting on everyday life as he saw it.
Well, you join me here live at Tusing Common, and well, this is the final of the two lonely blokes in a park contest, and whoa, that was absolutely terrible. That's what we've come to expect really from these two. They've been here for some time. A few runners in the distance, not keeping enough distance, frankly. And, well, these two are utterly useless. Looking forward to the third, fourth place playoff later.
That's it from sports. Coming up in new media, find out how South Korea is using an app to keep tabs on COVID-19. Details with Edwin after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
A heavy rain alert is now in force for the western half of Viti Levu, Yasawa and the Mamanuda group, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands of the southern Lau group. Tropical cyclone Harold was located about 1,100 kilometers west of Nandi at 12 p.m. today. TC Harold is moving east-southeast at 14 kilometers per hour. Severe TC Harold center is expected to pass just to the south of the group on Wednesday. Looking at the west, partly sunny with some light showers late in the afternoon. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, mostly cloudy with scattered showers at intervals. Up north, a bit of rain and humid conditions, otherwise cloudy. At sea, moderate easterly winds, moderate seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 5:38 a.m. with low tide at 11:46 a.m. Sunrise at 6:13. For the western half of Viti Levu, Yasawa and Mamanuda group, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands, and the southern Lau group, cloudy periods with some showers and isolated afternoon thunderstorms. Outlook for Wednesday, destructive storm force winds 95 kilometers per hour, gusting to 135 kilometers per hour, expected over Kandavu and nearby smaller islands. Damaging gale force winds 65 kilometers per hour, gusting to 90 kilometers per hour over Yasawa and Mamanuda group and western half of Viti Levu. Strong northwesterly winds up to 45 kilometers per hour elsewhere. Rain and thunderstorms over most places. And in Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, should the military assist the police officers in manning checkpoints during COVID-19 curfew?
I think military shouldn't step in at the moment now. Yeah. If it's in the aid for supplying rations to poor, then they can come in.
I want them to work together. It will be more effective. Well, that's what I think.
Those gang working in the army and the police need to work together so that all the people in Fiji can be safe and secure.
Yes, I agree because some people can't follow proper instructions to keep still at home.
Yes, I think we need more people to look after the checkpoints.
Yes, I think the military should work too, so that we don't have a 24-hour lockdown.
Recapping the main stories, Fiji now has 14 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Man breaks confinement border and TC Herald heading our way. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, last week we asked, should business houses make social distancing compulsory for customers? 70% said yes. This week we are asking, should anyone found breaching COVID-19 isolation restrictions be charged? Visit our FPC website to answer. And to our shot of the day, we have this from the Fiji Police Force as its officers spent Palm Sunday yesterday away from families as they continue the special COVID-19 operations.
I know the road. will make a way for me. Ausakila nina tumberia. Ausakila nina tumberia.
And with COVID-19 affecting the world, if you're in an affected area, particularly in the lockdown areas, send us pictures and videos of what you're up to. Email fpcnews@fpc.com.fj or share it via our social media accounts, our Facebook page, FPC News, or our Twitter handle @FPC News. And before we go, remember that we are amidst a global crisis, and you have to ensure to follow all the advisories from the authorities and follow the official announcements and updates. Stay safe, and if you're out shopping, please be considerate. That's it for your news tonight. Until tomorrow evening, Modemanda.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.